What up, what up, what up, YouTube? What up, what up, what up, YouTube? You clicked the title, you read the page. We are reacting to the most awkward interviews in hip hop history. Now, shout out to Hip Hop Madness. Make sure y'all subscribe for their vibe. They got a little vibe going on, but it ain't better than this vibe. I ain't gonna lie. You feel me? That's why you came here to watch me react to it. Yeah, no? So, subscribe for the vibe. You're on the road to 4,000 subscribers, depending on what channel I put this on. It could be 6,000 subscribers. Now, I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're feeling great. You're not feeling good. You're not feeling great. This video gonna put you in a mood because it's about to get ghetto. It's about to get real ghetto, so we might as well go ahead and get ghetto with them. You know what I'm saying? So hit that bottle, you know what I'm saying? Life is lifing. Life's been lifing lately. And let me tell you something. When life is lifing, this is how you deal with it. I'll tell you right now. I'm about to give you the best advice you could ever get on the internet. When life is lifing and you just don't know what to do, when you just sitting there like, I don't know what I'm going to do, you alive. So it ain't nothing that life could possibly be putting you through that's worse than being gone. All right, just look at life like it is the gift that keeps on giving. So even when the gift ain't what you want, it's like a gift. When you get a gift and you're like, I don't want this, just be happy that you got the gift in the first place. Be grateful for it. All right, so subscribe for the vibe. Now that that's out the way, time to get ghetto.
Rappers are notoriously tough to interview, come off too much like the police, and there's every chance they'll shut down and refuse to participate in the interview. On the other hand, if a rapper says or does the wrong thing during an interview, i.e. Drake infamously freestyling off his BlackBerry in 2009, there's every chance that this will be etched into their legacy forever. In this video, we're taking a closer look at some of the most awkward interviews in hip-hop history. Often when new rappers emerge, news outlets will try to poke holes in the image they've constructed around themselves. But often, the artists are too savvy, and all the journalists who've tried to defame them end up doing is making them appear even more appealing to their fan base. That was the case when BBC attempted to tangle with a young Tyler the Creator in Odd Future. Flanked by the group's colorful cast of characters which included Damo, Left Brain, Haji Beats, and Sid the Kid, the reporter made a mistake of underestimating the crew and clearly went into the interview with a preconceived idea of how he wanted to portray them. The result is a combative masterclass, with Tyler going out of his way to make things as difficult as possible.
Okay, now what about your lyrics? What are you saying in your lyrics?
Nothing to old white people off like you.
Is that
I'm screaming. Nah, he responded, wow. How you gonna say to that? How you gonna say that to that poor old white man? He ain't bothering nobody.
right?
My lyrics aren't offensive.
Some people find them offensive.
Some people find everything offensive. Okay.
But when it comes to awkward interviews, no one has turned this into an art form quite like Nardwuar.
And another thing too with certain rappers, they gotta understand, like when a person is interviewing you, half the time they're not going based on how they feel. They're going based on what the people want to hear. The interviewer not sometimes don't even give a damn about your life. They just doing it because that's what the people want. See, I gotta understand that when y'all being ignorant in these interviews.
Received his flowers from virtually every rapper, getting the interview with Nardwuar is seen as an honor for most upcoming rappers who've spent years witnessing him bamboozle his guests with obscure knowledge about their lives. But over the years, this hasn't always gone to plan. In rock music, the likes of Blur, Henry Rollins, and Slipknot all found themselves confused by Nardwuar's shtick, to the point of getting angry. And in hip-hop, the likes of Lil Uzi Vert decided to run away from him, while Jay-Z just seemed utterly confused. But if any interview between Nardwuar and an MC who refused to play ball was painful to witness, it was Nas. Back in the day, Nas agreed to sit down with Nardwuar during a Canadian tour stop. Initially, things started off amicably enough, with Nas seemingly impressed by the degree of research Nardwuar had undertaken.
This dude here, see where he's...
Nah, I hope he ain't try to get funny with Nas. Like, you can't do that playful shit with a real nigga like Nas. Like, Nas is a real street nigga from Queens. OG, not the new New York niggas. He an old New York nigga. There's a huge difference. You understand? You don't... The new New York niggas, you know, they chuckle. They dance. They get sturdy. Them old niggas, they don't dance. You can't play with them. They don't chuckle. You know what I mean? So I already know how this about to go.
This is the project where I come from. That's the elevator door is open. See, that's the first floor. And he's telling the crackhead, Jane, stop this crazy thing. Sweet. Crazy, you're crazy.
While he originally seemed amused by the endless selection of records and pop culture trinkets that Nardwuar decided to bestow upon him, Nas's patience would eventually wear thin, and by the end, that normally composed MC was as hostile as we've ever seen him.
You are nuts, you are psycho, but it's all love, it's all music. Peace.
Thanks so much, Nas. Keep on rocking in the free world and doot-doot-a-loot-doo.
Yo, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
While Nas managed to keep things cordial with Nardwuar for a little while, the same couldn't be said for Kodak Black's appearance on Ebro in the Morning. A man who will make several appearances on this list, Ebro's demeanor has a way of getting under people's skin in a way that he doesn't seem to be aware of. But when Yak turned up to the Hot 97...
Yo, I'm Blaze. I'm focused though, I'm just a little Blaze.
in studios, Ebro was determined to broach Kodak Black's pending case with him.
And with respect to, everybody involved in that case, we can't get into details today. But, we take assault here serious. But we hope, to have you back so we can have a deeper conversation about that because, this is a serious topic and we're hearing these stories a lot.
After some haphazard attempts from Peter Rosenberg to guide the conversation back to neutral ground with a bizarre comment about the moon landing, it wasn't long before Kodak's annoyance boiled over.
You seem upset that I brought it up.
I feel like sometimes when we going through y'all be entertained by bull. Change the subject, I'm finna walk out.
We don't have to talk about nothing else. We could be done right.
I mean, and another thing too, artists don't be telling them yo, bro, don't ask me about this X, Y, and Z before I come up here. I'm sure they do that, so I don't know. They do anything for views, so the interview will probably just be going left. And them Hot 97 old heads, they be fake miserable because they so old and miserable. I never understood that. Why y'all so old and miserable?
Right here.
All right, I'm going. Say less.
After the fact, Ebro received a mixture of praise and backlash from the culture. And in a subsequent radio appearance, he made it clear that this wasn't his intention. I did not want it to go that way. I'm not happy with the way that it went. I'm not happy it went that way. I feel bad that it went that way because I felt like I was honestly trying to have a balanced conversation with an individual who has a crazy past, dealing with some very real things. It's very strange right now, Ebro said. It makes nobody happy. I really, really wanted to end that in a good way. Where this incident stemmed from Kodak not wanting to delve into his personal life, this next awkward encounter involving Ebro was one in which the generational gap between him and the current crop of hip-hop artists was all too apparent. During Lil Uzi Vert's meteoric rise to fame, he stopped in at Hot 97, and almost instantly, he was met with a dismissive attitude from Ebro. From the outset, he seemed intent on painting Uzi as just another mumble rapper, and as we know, he was anything but. And because of his supreme confidence, Uzi made what could have been a painful experience into one where he made predictions that, in hindsight, simply exposed Ebro's lack of understanding of what Uzi was trying to accomplish.
Exactly, because them Hot 97 niggas don't understand because they old. They don't know what's going on with the culture. They still listening to Jay-Z. What's happening?
Everybody's grown, bro.
I mean, are they? Everybody's grown. He fell off at the end.
Put another beat on.
Nah, because all I got is old man beats and you're not built for
Hey,
that.
listen, it's going to be a lot of young guys coming up here and they ain't going to want to rap on that. I'm trying to tell you, it's changing.
Yo, look, I hope they change.
Exactly, they still in Hot 90. It's you know what it is? No disrespect, but they got to get rid of the old heads. Shout out to the Breakfast Club. I love Angela Yee. I ain't going to lie. Now, if they would have put Angela Yee in Just With The Mess, that would have been dope. But, she got her own show, so shout out to Angela Yee. But I like that they added Just. You can't just have a bunch of old niggas. We don't want to hear a bunch of old niggas all the time. Come on now. Look, you playing old-ass beats. Come on now.
But as I've seen with all you little young that think you nice, y'all get to 27, 28, and y'all get to struggling, and y'all be trying to come back to find that sound.
I ain't going to struggle, bro.
And guess what? I'm going to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be totally different, too. I'm going to be all the way a rock star by then.
History's proven Uzi to be right, with his decision to stay the course paying dividends for years to come. But while his appearance on Hot 97 emboldened him, there are other cases in which a chaotic interview can set the course for a massive change in an artist's life. Here we have Boonk Gang's disastrous appearance on No Jumper. An incident which Adam 22 is categorized as the worst interview in No Jumper history. Boonk appeared notably intoxicated.
Well, about this time, it was well, when was this? Because you talking about the worst interview in No Jumper history was when my fault, y'all. The worst interview in No Jumper history was when old boy beat up the little fake wannabe pimp. I said, oh, that was mad unprofessional. First of all, how you pulling your weight up on a little nigga like that? He really beat up that little dude. Clearly dude wasn't like that. That was just horrible.
From the start. And although there was an argument to be made that Adam should have never put him in front of the camera in the first place, he did appear to try to wind things up as soon as he could, particularly as Boonk began to repeat himself.
Bullgate is right now. I've been up for the past 3 weeks.
Because I would like to do an interview when you're sober.
No, you don't want to do an interview when I'm sober. I may not have the hiccups when I be like this.
The hiccups are not the biggest.
And that sucks because Adam should have never even put this interview out. But you know, whatever. Adam's white, so what do you expect? And, you know, but above all, I like that Boom Gang changed his. What is it? Boom Gang. Boom Gang changed his whole life around. So shout out to him and shout out to that black man.
Biggest problem, but
Yeah.
okay. Boom Gang, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Since then, Boom, now named John Gambino, has turned his life around. But while Boom Gang all but left music without leaving a mark on the industry, two men that have are Childish Gambino and Chief Keef. Both exploding into the scene in the early 2010s, ATL's Donald Glover has become a pioneer in nearly every avenue, while Glow Gang's Chief Keef was instrumental to the foundation of drill as we know it. But as it became clear when Noisy aligned the two for a one-on-one interview, it became obvious that despite their significant contributions to the game, they lacked natural chemistry when brought together. Over the course of a painful 4 minutes, the pair couldn't find sufficient common ground, nor enough mutual admiration to make it work, with Keef clearly irritated by the conversation, making it known that he would rather not have to endure it, while Donald struggled to find something to say.
You don't like talking that much. You said you're not a big talker. I feel that. You're 17. You're about to turn 18.
Yeah.
I didn't really like to talk that much when I was 18. I just kind of like drew a lot of stuff. Do you draw? Well, you got a lot of tattoos.
You ain't got no tat?
I might get one that just says what I'm allergic to or something like that. I heard you like
Yo, what?
belts a lot.
Somehow, things got even more excruciating when the conversation turned to music, with Donald misquoting Chief Keef's breakout hit in possibly the worst way conceivable.
I spoke to people. That line like a fart, that's that I don't like.
Who said that?
Yeah, is that on there?
Hell no.
What's the first part? What's the last one?
That's sneak disses.
I don't like fart.
Right.
Where interactions like Keef and Gambino's painfully stunted conversation was the product of mutual
Yeah, that was very cringy. That was very cringy.
misunderstanding rather than animosity, there are other cases where personal grievances spill over into the airwaves. This was definitely the case when it came to Joe Budden's infamous appearance on Hot 97. Set to appear on the show to promote Rage and the Machine, both Joe's
And Joe Budden be on one.
beef with Drake and his high-profile issues with his former podcast co-host Marissa Mendez were brought up on air. Left angered by Hot 97 hijacking the interview to discuss anything but his album, Joe let his issues with Ebro and Peter Rosenberg be known in the most Joe way possible.
I don't think that you guys are able to have an objective conversation, number one. Number two, this podcast conversation is not a conversation I care to have, especially not early in the morning. Number three, if Peter and or Marissa feel away, then there are other mediums for that to be discussed if it's going to be discussed at all. Next time I come here for an interview, send my manager the talk points. I didn't know that this would be an utter complete waste of time. We talked about Drake for 10 minutes, and we talked about the album for 30 seconds.
And we played your song.
And then we
played your
talked
song.
about Marissa and Peter.
You want to talk about beats? You want to talk about snares
I
and
want you to
hi-hats?
talk about something compelling.
You want me to pull A-Rab up and talk about the MPC Renaissance? Yo, the bar you spit, this pattern you used, the percussion, the way you used your voice like a drum and the percussion and fell in the pocket at the end, so it was hard.
I want to thank all of you for your time.
What should we have covered?
I don't know. That's y'all job to talk about. I don't do a morning show. I do a podcast.
We'll talk more album time.
No, we won't.
I'm screaming. No, we won't.
Joe was on the receiving end of a grilling that he neither signed up for nor wanted, but that doesn't mean that he necessarily had any empathy for others when he placed them in a similar situation. Here we have Joey Jumpoff's infamous Everyday Struggle showdown with Lil Yachty. Appearing on the headline-making Complex show was always a calculated gamble, and appearances from Vic Mensa and a near-physical altercation with Migos certainly made for compelling viewing.
If a nigga hating, call him Joe Budden.
But they all pale in comparison to what happened when the rapper that was then Quality Control's newest star appeared. Over the course of the interview, Budden seemed incredibly frustrated by what he saw as Yachty's naivety and ignorance.
I don't care about the business part. I care about how Yachty feels.
You're giving me every day because life is moving in such a positive way. I can't get slowed down.
Nobody is one thing forever. You cannot tell me in the music business you are happy 24/7. That is a lie. That is bull. And I refuse to have somebody tell me bull. I want to have an honest conversation.
So when you come from a college dorm room with no money and you ain't getting no play with no girls, you have no car, and you come to having 3-4 cars.
How the hell is Joe Budden going to tell him he not happy? Like, what type of... Nigga, you not my therapist. Like, how the fuck?
You got millions of dollars, $500,000 on your body just to wear. How could you be upset?
Because I don't think that's where your values lie. That's why. Is that sounding old guy mad still?
It sounds like you know you up me trying to bring it back.
I ain't
What you said, let me
If this wasn't bad enough, things continued to intensify to the point that Joe was basically playing the role of a scolding parent while Yachty took it in stride.
Bro, Ilche.
A storm which refused to subside, Budden's harsh words resulted in a diss on QC's Ice Tray from Yachty and Quavo. Since then, the two have squashed the beef. In a similar vein, our next entry is another instance where a rapper turned media personality had an incendiary debate. Back in 2013, Kanye was in explosive form when it came to generating carnage wherever he went. A time where the man who'd become Ye was gradually
Yo, in 2013, was that when his mom passed? Because everybody feel like that's when Kanye started losing his ish.
becoming more and more outspoken. Things came to a head when he appeared on Sway in the Morning to promote his forthcoming album, Yeezus.
Who's gonna be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you want to marginalize me till I'm out of my moment?
Or why don't you empower yourself? Take a few steps back.
You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Yeah.
I've been doing this more than you.
Relax.
You ain't got the answers.
Bro,
you ain't been doing the education. You ain't spent $13 million of your own money trying to empower yourself.
Yes, but I spent hundreds of thousands and putting out clothing lines at a smaller degree.
It ain't Ralph level. What's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
Why?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I love this interview, so this interview never gets old. You don't have the answers, Sway, because it is now 2024, and Sway did have the answers. Kanye, you should have did it. You should have did it on your own, my boy. You should have did it on your own, my boy.
Why is it that you can't? Money,
I just told you I lost the money because I did not have the knowledge of how to do it the right way.
You ain't got to turn up, man. This ain't no show, man.
Nah,
I'm talking to you as a homie. You ain't got to turn up on me man to man, dog. These mics, we could turn all this off. You ain't got to do this. Don't try to embarrass us.
An incident which promptly reached the status of iconic meme. Kanye and Sway put the fiery exchange behind them until years later, when his high-profile rift with Adidas led Ye to consider that perhaps Sway was actually right about remaining independent. On the subject of time, and more specifically timekeeping, we have our final entry. For this one, we need to head over to Norway for a legendary interview with Snoop Dogg. After arriving at an interview in a sneaker store,
Oh, Snoop Dogg, you gotta smell the dog.
a long time after he was scheduled to, a reporter innocently tried to press the Dogfather on his punctuality. Almost instantly, Snoop made it known that this was a very bad idea.
You're 5 hours late here. And
Man, shut the
yeah, I was just wondering why you were so late, and I saw you were twittering about you being stopped at the border.
Yo, he said, man, shut the... I'm screaming.
I was late because I went to go get some chicken wings. That's why I was late. Because I wanted to go see Norway up close and personal and visit an old folks home. I went to a convalescent home. That's why I was late.
Now is the partying changing?
I don't party. Get this